Craig Edgy Show, screaming into the void.
I like that. I like the way you got the title in there as well. It's getting better each week. Yeah. Hi everyone. Welcome back to the second episode of Screaming into the Void, our film and TV podcast. Joining me today, we've got Bruce.
Hello.
Harry.
You alright?
And I'm your host, Craig. So.
Hey, Craig.
Hiya.
Actually introduced yourself
this
week,
yeah, exactly. I remember it. Yeah, it's getting better. I told you. It's going to get better every week. So this week we've had our topic this week is going to be Rick and Morty Series 3. That's all finished now, so we've all caught up and everyone's watched it, haven't we, guys? I think we've all watched every episode.
I've watched it all, but if you're viewing and you haven't, then
tough.
Turn off and turn back on when you have.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, just listen.
Right. So well, what's everyone's first impressions of the series, and what were your favourite episodes, favourite moments of the show? Bruce, what were yours?
To be honest, I was actually really impressed with it this time. I know some people have found it not as good, or it's trying to hit too many demographics or too many little obvious jokes. But to me, I just thought it was pretty exciting. Again, I feel like they've pushed the boundaries on what they want to tell and the stories they're doing. And I thought it was quite dark this season.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like the themes and the things that happened were a little bit. I mean, there was child murder and like incest cannibalism. Like from a I know it's an adult cartoon, but do you know what I mean, Harry? It was a bit...
it was quite incestuous and dark and twisted, especially like these humping animals so they then eat them for food. I mean, smart, but really, really weird. But that's Rick and Morty for you. That's why we love it.
And even like the menagerie episode in the Mind Blowers, when they make it, like the space shuttle, and then they send it, and then they just switch places with the people, and then they're like, oh yeah, see you later, and then they just leave the people in the zoo, like these two astronauts.
Oh yeah, and they're up in space, and that massive guy just looking into all the little windows. Yeah, that was proper fucked up. Like, here we come in peace, I want to help. Just switch places with us. Yeah.
So these customary t-shirts.
Do you think it was a much darker series than this time, Bruce? You reckon, because of the reasons you said?
Yeah, 100%. But to be honest, I thought it worked. It was good.
It did start off sort of towards the end of last season with Birdman dying in the way they brought him Bear Person. Sorry, I like Birdman. Bear Person. They brought him back, and then it started this season or the end of last season where you see him and he's actually a robot.
We had a tiny teaser at the end of the first episode of this series where
that's it.
You see him being reborn, like the Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's like
Phoenix Person.
Phoenix Person.
She's like, what do you call him Phoenix Person for? I said anything but Phoenix Person.
So, Bruce? What was your favourite episode? If you had to pick one, what was your favourite episode this series?
I was a massive fan of the Evil Morty episode.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, to be honest, you saw it coming just part way through, just towards the end, with the Morty reveal as the Evil Morty. But I felt like it was like a movie in a single episode. I felt like it was trying to do some kind of crime gang, like a corrupt city, corrupt system, people trying to find their way in the world. But it was just loads of Ricks and loads of Mortys. And when you look at the Morty Morty Town when they go in, it's like, geez man, how's it going? He's like the police Morty is using Morty language to try and find out what's going on.
He starts dumbs himself down, doesn't he, to be a Morty.
Yeah,
it was like a massive biopic, all these different storylines that all entwined into the one at the end where they just that's it, they all still die.
Yeah, it will interconnect. It's like, get off the hood, you rickless animal. These yellow shirts are tangled up real good.
I liked, that's the thing, that episode there was, do you think it touched on a lot of outside themes, isn't it? So I've got racial discrimination.
It was very current in the way the world is at the minute.
And maybe a Morty riding a wave of populism to take over and win an election. He might secretly be evil. Yeah, that kind of thing. That could.
I wonder what that's about.
Exactly. I don't know where they got our idea from.
Yeah.
What about Yourself, Harry, what's your favourite episode if you had to pick one?
For me, it's probably the Mind Blowers episode, where Morty finds out that he's had a lot of memory deleted from all the times that they've actually gone on adventures. And you see him on adventures that you haven't actually seen before, which was good. I just liked how it felt really human in the way that Morty actually makes really bad mistakes and does a lot of bad things through it, and like he kills populations.
Which one was your favourite Mind Blowers out of all of them? Which one, Harry, was it?
I don't know.
What's the best one?
I don't know. What's yours?
The one where it's like, and some could say he looked like a smudge. I just thought that's so awful. I was like, that's not okay. I remember telling to my friend when we were watching it, and I was like, that's just not
It's just not right.
Craig, what was yours?
What, Mind Blowers one?
Yeah.
I can't even remember it. I'm sitting there thinking, I've watched it.
It
might have been mind blown, I think.
I liked them all. There's no one that actually pops out to me as the best one. I just loved it because the way it just felt human, because Morty is really bad in it. It's like he's the mistakes that he's made, and you think, oh right, maybe that's
I do
is
remember.
really bad.
I like the ET style one at the end. I remember that one.
Oh,
in the
what,
car.
with Jerry?
Yeah, he left him in the car. And he's dead.
Yeah. and he's like, I get dibs on all his possessions. But yeah, and then I like the way that it shows even Rick can make really bad mistakes, and he tries to erase that from Morty's mind so that he still looks like he's good and awesome, and that he doesn't have any problems of his own when he's going out on all these missions. So yeah, that's why I thought.
I think the show
was my favourite one.
One of the best things about it does touch on these kind of topics, like these kind of sci-fi ideas. Would you want to have your memories erased?
Yeah, I mean, certain ones. I mean, like certain things that you always want erased from memory that you've done, like you embarrass yourself, or
like if we go back to last week when we're finding out who the best battler is.
Yeah.
No, I want to keep that one.
Luckily, we can erase those.
That'd be a Rick and Morty one. Larry said, just can't take things for granted. And he's like, did you say granite instead of granted? That's exactly. It's an exact copy.
You thought it was granite? One of the best ones is the Mind Blowers one, actually. I just remember it is when he goes, could you just flick the switch for me? And he goes, the one on the furthest left, and he goes, and he goes, oh, yes, right, that's it, turn it back on now. And he goes, did I hear 3 distinctive clicks? One click that you clicked the wrong one, then a corrective click, and then one to click off the other one. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, come with me, Morty. And he shows he just killed all these people, like, and like just ruined this whole thing. And he's just like, wow.
Yeah. So, Craigie, which one was yours?
My favourite episode was the Tommy episode. I can't remember what it's called. It's the episode 9 where they find the fruity land.
It's a Beth's of ABC. Or
that's ABC's a Beth, yeah,
that's
right.
it.
When they go into Fruity Land, when Tommy...
She thinks it's imaginary still, doesn't she? And then like Rick's like, come with me.
And then there's the guy from Silicon Valley, Thomas Middleditch, yeah. He plays Tommy in it, and I thought it was hilarious. It's the bizarre character that they've come up with. It's a bit like Jumanji, like Robin Williams, but like the dark version of it. Where he can only survive
the bits they didn't show in Jumanji.
Exactly, by only survive by raping the young man, who's like
humping animals.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's like through that one there. It's like it's this whole safe place. Like you can fall off the cliff and it's soft. And he's trying to show that there's nothing in here that you can die from. He just gets attacked by this like velociraptor, like ripping his arm apart.
And I just like the way that they performed the whole.
The play.
Like, the play was good. The play was a good way of, rather than doing a flashback, they had these little children act it out, which made it even more disturbing. And then that bit when I love just the bit when they cut back to him and he's sitting on his throne. And he says, right, next on the docket, I'm going to have sex with some of you and then eat the babies. And I go, I thought you'd like that. I do keep rolling out the hits, don't I? It's like, because I can't imagine that he would be a child when he got left.
Yeah, it's like a dictator, like, a cannibalist.
Should eat people, you doy. And I liked it because I didn't quite, there's some of the episode series I didn't quite find as funny. Like the Mind Blowers one, that didn't stick in my brain very much. And even the the one on the planet of Mortys and Rick's, it was very clever, and I could see what they were going for, but I didn't find it as funny as some of the other series, because I preferred some of the episodes this time where it was more streamlined, a bit like the old series where there was just an A plot and a B plot, like the ABCs of Beth, and it was just more of just one crazy idea that they kind of worked on. I found it more funny.
I don't think it's my favourite series, but it's got a few of my favourite episodes in it, like Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick is one of my favourite episodes. Like, I think probably after that one.
So, do you think then, Craig, that they're trying to be too big with the ideas? Do you feel as it gets more popular, they feel like they've got to hit a certain audience, like to try and expand and expand and expand, and people will just get bored if it's the same thing?
Maybe, but I don't think that's a problem. It's strange. I didn't find it as funny as the other series, but I can see it's getting much more ambitious and much more clever in the way they, like I said, touching on different topics and trying to really push these ideas of existentialism, and also the character of Rick, because the whole point of the show, I think, is he really that much of a bastard, or is it all an act? And should you live like Rick, or should you be like Morty, or is it a bit of both?
Well, that's why I liked the evil Morty one, the Atlantis episode, because I felt like when you take away, each Rick was supposed to be special, aren't they? They're supposed to be the most special.
Rick Atlantis.
Well, Rick in general as a character, supposed to be the most clever man in the universe.
Yeah.
And when they all band together, they lose their sense of identity and who they are. And then, they're just working stiff Ricks, as as some of them say. And do you lose?
The simple Rick, isn't it? Is simple
Rick? And there's simple Rick as well. But do they? I didn't see that, because that was another scene that just wasn't okay.
That didn't make me laugh though, that one.
But
simple Ricks.
is it showing that when all the Ricks do come together, they just lose their ability to be special, and they do just become normal people?
Do you not think that's why Rick has gone off on his own and doesn't want to be part of the Council of Ricks, though?
Yeah, definitely.
Because he thinks he'll be dulled down and be stupid like all the other ones seem to come across, and why he seems inferior.
Do you think that's the theme of it then?
I feel like in society that if you're trying to be individual, you're scrutinised because you're not fitting in. Maybe that's something that they're trying to get at. They want everyone to fit into a certain mould, and that all the Ricks who do fit into the mould then become dumbed down.
Is it the I'm unique, I'm different because I'm unique, but then everyone else is?
Yeah.
So we stop being unique.
Who knows?
Who knows? Any other comments on this series? Any other favourite moments that jumped out on you guys? What do you think, Harry? Funny bits?
Pickle Rick was, as I said, was one of my other favourite ones, where he manages, as a pickle, he's so smart, he can still overcome being left to die, killing a rat, making himself a cyborg, killing all the other rats, to then shoot himself up and out of a toilet, and then ends up in a Russian.
That was like a whole spoof of these 80s action movies, like Commando, like some villain drug lord.
And then I loved that a few weeks later, after the episode came out, there was an actual, in America, there was this Russian.
A guy turned himself into a pickle.
No, there was a Russian embassy. And there was smoke coming out of it, black smoke coming out of it, like there was a fire. And everyone thought it was Pickle Rick come back to haunt them.
What's it? Jaguar, isn't it?
Jaguar's the other guy,
saves him from the piano.
Are you saying my daughter's alive in another infinite reality? No, she's the only one and she's dead.
Because it's sort of like John Wick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically.
Basically John Wick, because he's the boogeyman.
What do they? I don't know. He's got a nickname, isn't he? Like John Wick's got one.
Yeah, because he's called the boogeyman in John Wick.
Something. It's like some Russian name, isn't it?
It's it's the story of the pickle.
You were telling me earlier, Craig, about how Rick and Morty fans are now the worst fans.
This is this new thing that's started to come out now. It used to be Batman fans were considered the worst fans, and in terms of worst fans, meaning the most militant and.
I think they're the best.
Yeah, and there's now this idea that Rick and Morty fans, there's a sense of arrogance that you have to be. Oh, this show's too clever for other people. Only intelligent people can understand Rick and Morty. What do you guys? And this week there's been a story with series the first episode of series 3 where there was the joke about Szechuan sauce from McDonald's, and the only reason Rick has invented his interdimensional portal is so he can find a universe where they have Szechuan sauce.
Still, yeah.
So McDonald's, not one to miss an opportunity, decided to bring it back, and they were inundated with Rick and Morty nerds that stormed the place, and they ran out of Szechuan sauce, and there's all videos of them going, "We want sauce, we want sauce."
No.
So some people are saying, yeah, are these Rick and Morty fans? Are they entitled? Do you have to have a certain level of intelligence to understand the jokes? Is it that deep? Is it that clever?
I'm pretty stupid. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Don't agree with me. I like watching Rick and Morty.
I like the bits where he farts. I like it.
I like it when he punches Morty sometimes. It makes me feel good inside.
What is this?
I don't know, there's some generic... it's kind of, yeah.
Like Albert Hillbilly.
Yeah.
No offence.
They're not going to be like, I like the jokes about Schrodinger's cat and Infinite Paradox. Maybe they are like
and
that.
the Jeff Goldblum heads.
that made me laugh, that bit, the Jeff Goldblum joke. So you don't think that's right, Bruce? Do you find that some people were a bit taking Rick and Morty too seriously, or...?
Because I'm not a massive science guy. So there are certain, comments and things that I'll miss. But to me, I just find it brilliant. I just think it's, brilliant.
There's a few things where I've heard a joke and I go, haha, yeah, it's funny. And I come back to it and I've seen a movie and I watch it again and I'm like, I get it now.
One of the best things is they even mention that in the beginning of series 2.
Yeah.
The first episode when they unfreeze time, Rick says, I can't remember, he makes up some stupid words. It's like the Rick Van Grumple of just going along with what everyone else says. They're going, and the kids are going, yeah, goes, I just made that name up. And he's like, think for yourselves, kids. And it goes, so that's almost like them commenting on the fans that don't actually understand some of the in-jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
And laugh along to it anyway. But
clever writing.
What about the criticism of, do you think it's becoming a bit more mainstream now, but that they're trying to soften Rick's character a bit too much now? That he seems to almost care in some episodes this time?
It's character development though, isn't it?
It's like a whole series of him trying to become a better person, in a way.
Does he want to be?
Well, he could have just gone away, couldn't he, at the end of the season?
In Vindicators, he tried to kill all the Vindicators, and even Morty. Because he thought Morty wasn't going to be... To be fair, he didn't think Morty was going to be there.
No.
Did he?
But he didn't... Everyone,
the
Morty thought it was going back
guy.
in. Yeah, I can't remember his name. And he's like Mr. Poopy Butthole, but he's not. He's...
Just the same guy.
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
So Rick and Morty Series 3, in general, what do people... Well, yes.
I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the next season whenever it comes out. And yeah, really good.
Harry, thoughts on Rick and Morty?
I love it.
He loves it.
I love it.
He loves it. Boys and girls, he loves it.
I love it.
I love it. I think I agree. I don't think I liked it quite as much as the last two series, but
Hang on,
Still
sorry, Craig. Can you just say that again? You agree with Harry and I? You love it.
yeah. I can
It's not just all right.
I do.
Yes.
I think you need constructive
Greg loves
criticism.
something, guys.
You can't just say something's... but no, it was... I did really find it funny, but I didn't like it as much as the other two series.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
no, I agree with that.
No more follow-up questions on that one. So, for the next section of the show, we've got, thanks to the 3 people that listen to the podcast.
You're absolute
We've been
sweethearts.
inundated with requests for topics to discuss. This one was asked by Chris, and he'd like to know, what is your favourite scene from a TV show of all time? So
A single
who wants to
scene.
go first, Bruce. A single scene.
I think you should kick this off, Bruce.
Yeah, go for it, Bruce.
Okay, so mine is from the TV series Vikings. So
Poor man's Game of Thrones, yeah.
No.
Vikings is wonderful.
It's actually real.
Yeah, so season 4 of Vikings. Spoilers if you haven't got that far yet.
Part 2.
Part 2 of season 4. Thank you, Harry. Is when Ragnar Lothbrok, the main character, is in his cage and he's going up to King Aela to be executed. And in Viking belief, you believe that you're destined to die on a certain day. And throughout all of the TV show, Ragnar believes in the gods, and as he gets towards the end, he starts to question and defy what's happening, believing that he's not fated to die this way. And as it gets to it, he's supposed to die on the day that the blind man sees him. And it comes to the final point, and Ragnar cheats his death by a single day. He's the only character in all of Vikings who cheats his death by a single day, and it's because he's not going to arrive to his execution point until the day after today. So he's the only character who beats his fate, and it just means everything to him. He spent so long fighting against the gods and his people's beliefs to finally overcome it. And the way the music sets in, and yeah, it's just perfect in every single way. And like, it talks about his ex-wife Lagertha and how she lost her child because she believed the child was supposed to die when she could have actually nurtured and cared for it. And yeah, I feel like in terms of character development, Ragnar just comes full circle and beats his fate by a single day. It's just perfect.
So you love it because it's I've never seen the show, but it's because it's a complete, because it completes the arc and it's almost like makes the
he's the only character to beat his fate.
He's the only person that wants to die. He wants to actually die, though. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to go to England, but he wants to go to England so he can die.
Yeah, he goes to England to die, so the Vikings will then unite under his death because he was their ex-king.
Yeah.
And then go back to England and raid and seek vengeance for crimes committed against him and the people that they seem to not care about and not worried about. And Ragnar wants this legacy to happen and his people to go abroad and
to unite all the brothers.
Exactly. And yeah, he sets it up perfectly, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Yeah.
So yours was because it's a more like a character-based moment that makes sense of the character, and yeah, it's just emotionally satisfying for you. That's
Emotionally satisfying at the end. Yeah, the character development comes full circle. Beautiful.
Harry, your favourite scene from the TV series?
Mine is something that probably a bit more of you might know, is the Battle of the Bastards, the fight scene at the end where it follows Jon Snow through the
Game of Thrones, yeah.
For the Game of Thrones through the battlefield. It's just how it was done was, I've never seen anything like it in a movie, in a TV series, anything. And it was so intense of how the camera movement was, how it was just following him, how he didn't know what was quite going on through it. I liked how when it first started and all the horses started running at him and he just pulled out his sword, he knew it was over. He thought, I'm going to die right here. And all of a sudden, he somehow survives a cavalry. But you see all these things of where people come in, a horse hits another horse as he's about to get hit by a sword. Other people are saving him. He's just like hitting people off horses. They're flying everywhere. It was just a manic scene, but done so well, and that's why I loved it.
So you liked it for more of the epic scale and the action
and
side of it.
How long it went on for as well.
It was filmed so beautifully, wasn't it? I don't feel like we've ever had something filmed.
No,
to be honest, Harry, quite like that, have we?
No.
You're right. When I remember watching it, feeling that it was a new era in TV. It was getting close to the stuff you would see on Lord of the Rings, almost that kind of thing. And I found myself getting quite caught up in it as well, cheering him on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I think everyone, no matter if you like John or didn't like John, you just thought, wow, that's amazing.
You don't like John.
Yeah, everyone
How can you not love him?
I love
His little cute face.
I want to marry John.
Yeah.
So, Craigie, your favourite one?
Yeah, mine's also from Game of Thrones, but it's a bit earlier on. It's in Series 4, and it's a bit like yours, Bruce, it's a more intimate character moment. I know Game of Thrones is famous for all its bloody violence and sex, but this scene was a more quiet, intimate scene between Oberyn Martell, Prince of Dorne, and Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion's in jail, awaiting execution for the murder of the king, which he's innocent of. He wants a trial by combat in a way to try and get out of being executed, but he has no champion. He can't fight himself. He has the opposition's been picked as the Mountain, who's this 7 foot tall killing machine. There's no way Tyrion can fight him, but no one wants to be his champion and fight on his behalf. And Oberyn's a character who is in opposition to the Lannisters. He hates the Lannisters. He feels them responsible for the rape and murder of his sister and her children, which was done by the Mountain. And the scene is that Oberyn comes to Tyrion's cell and tells Tyrion a very quite a sad story about Tyrion's life when he was a child and how much his sister hates him and how much he's been looked down on in his life because he was born a dwarf. And there's a little bit of commonality between them. They both like that. Oberyn does kind of sympathise with Tyrion. He's not doing it to hurt Tyrion, I don't think, but he's going to tell him. And Tyrion's obviously quite a painful memory for Tyrion. And then when you realise why Oberyn's come to Tyrion, that he's going to be his champion because their goals aligned. Oberyn wants to kill the Mountain, and that relief on his face, on Tyrion's face, when he's like, "I will be your champion," and I just love it. It's so intimate. It's just two actors. It's done very quietly. It's not rushed. Brilliant acting between the two actors. It's filmed. I like the way it's filmed as well because the director of the episode, I think his name's Alex Sakharov, who used to be the cinematographer, so used to do all the lighting for Game of Thrones, and then he became a director of his own episode. The lighting is brilliant. It's all done in the dark, in a dank prison cell with warm orange glow light from the torch just flickering on their face. It's very intimate and warm. And also thematically, Tyrion's in the dark, he's in his lowest point, and then the light, Oberyn brings in the chance of hope that he might get out. So again, it's one of the great things about Game of Thrones is that it can do the epic like Battle of Bastards.
From one to the other.
Yeah, you can go to the intimate as well.
And it's okay for it. It's not you wouldn't think, why have they put that in there? Why have they done this? It's set perfectly because they build up to it in a nice way through Game of Thrones.
So there you go, Chris. There are our favourite scenes from TV.
Yeah, okay. So, I think that's it for today. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. If you've got any comments about either Rick and Morty Series 3 or maybe some ideas of your own favourite TV show scenes, that'd be quite interesting to hear.
We could touch on it. We could go over it, see what we think about them.
Yeah. We can go and just put it in the comments below, or if you've got any other ideas, any other thoughts of the day that you'd like to send in to us, any other questions you'd like to ask any one of us. But that's it from me today. I've been Craig.
I've been Bruce.
And I've been Harry. Boo boo.